Welcome, everyone. This is the AI Campa. Today, in our episode of Midnight Minds, we're going to come with one myth that is not too much to like affecting the mind in terms that the confusing is more about like a, let's say, the urban legend. It's a myth, pure myth. 1985 in UK, there was a fire, okay, in one house, and it seems that everything was burned out complete, but not everything. Let's say 99.5%. The other 5% was one painting. Yes, the painting of the crying boy. It was one crying boy, just like that, and it was not damaged at no was completely damaged, but survived to the fire. All right, and it seems the same, not the same picture, but we don't not the same. Sorry, not the same paint, but similar paint, who was very popular in that moment. It seems that in all the house who was having the same thing, it was everything burning and the same thing. So the painting survived with some damage, but surviving stay complete. These kind of paintings from some more from the 1950s. Actually, I had a name here, Giovanni Bragolin. Okay, that was the name of the artist. Okay, he do a multiples of boy and girl who was sadly or crying. Okay, and that is sold so in UK from the 1960s and 1970s. But with this kind of things to happen, that happened in November 1985. So this is the thing is coming. So they say that this kind of painting elaborated was a curse, and the house who having this kind of painting was going to burn out. Now we have, is that true? So this is the question mark. So we have the question: is this true? It's not true. What happened? What really happened with these houses? And they say that these houses was doomed, it was cursed. And we're going to see two videos the AI prepared for us from two perspectives. For the perspective of social, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The way that the people was thinking about that, the how deep was, if the owner of the house was cursed, the house was cursed, and then the science, how proof or no if was real that the why also not too much the real, the why survive. So everything burned, but my control stay almost intact. So why this happen? We're going to see the first videos. We're talking about that. Just enjoy.
The legend of the Crying Boy painting is more than just a spooky story. It's a fascinating look at how myths take root in our communities. It all started with a few house fires and some sensational tabloid headlines. The story was simple and sticky. The painting survives the flames, so it must be cursed. The more people heard it, the more certain they became. Neighbors swapped stories, and soon, fear itself became proof. Once people were primed, they started seeing the Crying Boy print everywhere disaster struck. That's confirmation bias in action. We remember the times the painting was there, but forget all the times it wasn't. The legend spread because it gave people a sense of control. If you could blame the painting, you could get rid of it and feel safe again. Communities even organize drives to destroy the prints, hoping to break the curse. But these beliefs had real-world effects. Shops stopped selling the painting, charities refused donations, and people focused on getting rid of the artwork instead of fixing faulty wiring or checking their smoke alarms. The media kept the story alive because scary tales sell, even if the facts don't add up. The real lesson? Before blaming a curse, check your electrics. Gather facts, not just stories. And if you share a rumor, share a safety checklist too. Sometimes the scariest thing isn't the legend, it's how quickly it spreads.
So as you see in the video, so that was so much so sensational in that moment that everyone started to rip off, burning, give away the people doesn't take it. It was more telling the like the video say, just blaming something instead to take responsibilities. So why this happened? There is a reason, but still the video just told us how the society was behave against this big movement made by the tabloids about the surviving on a disaster with flames. So now, why this happened? Because until now we know by fact house is burned, they survive, so the house is cursed. It's not, because it's not about that we create the fire. It's about how that thing survive. So now let's see this video, again created by the AI, where they're going to explain us by science what is the crying boy painting is real or not. The effect. Enjoy.
The story of the so-called crying boy curse claims that mass-produced prints of a weeping child mysteriously survive house fires, leading many to believe they are cursed. But does this chilling tale hold up to scrutiny? Or is there a more rational explanation for these surviving artworks? Let us turn to science for answers. Most crying boy prints were made of varnished paper, mounted on hardboard or medium-density fiberboard, often with a rope or metal hanger. In a fire, the synthetic varnish can resist brief exposure to flames, scorching and charring but not always fully igniting if the heat is transient. Hardboard itself can carbonize on the surface, acting as a temporary heat shield and protecting the print for longer than you might expect. The way these prints are hung also plays a crucial role. Secure metal hooks or rope keep them on the wall, away from the hottest floor-level flames and falling debris. Their typical placement, like hallways or near doors, often means they are spared the longest during a fire. Fire dynamics matter too. Cooler wall areas, pockets of lower heat, and even water from firefighters can help preserve items against brick or plaster. Psychology multiplies the legend. Survivorship bias means we focus on the dramatic cases where prints survive, ignoring countless others that burned or never existed in fire scenes. Confirmation bias and illusory correlations further reinforce the myth, making it seem more mysterious than it is. Investigations reveal ordinary causes behind these fires: faulty wiring, heaters, cigarettes, or kitchen accidents. When all incidents are considered, the survival rate of these prints matches what we would expect for sturdily mounted, varnished art. No supernatural explanation is needed. The real lesson? Prioritize checking your electrical systems, kitchen safety, and smoke alarms. Do not blame the varnish, focus on proven fire prevention for true peace of mind.
So, as you see in the video, is false. So the reality of the Crying Boy painting is what the material was made. This varnish material varnish product they're using, plus how was built all the painting by themselves, was a heat and flame and high temperature resistant. So making this with a high possibility of surviving by the disaster. So you see, it's not about that you having a painting in your house and it will be cursed. That means that your house is going to get burned. It's just because you don't pay attention to, or they didn't pay attention in that time. And I believe that the measurements of safeties in the house was not like nowadays we have. But in that moment, so probably in the 90s or in the 90s, 80s, the infrastructure was old, or there was not too much the maintenance of electricity, the cables, the electronics for that moment. So of course the timing or the time passed by, and we improved these kind of areas. Now it is important to understand that even that is fascinated that this kind of how can I say this, like this kind of things that we can create as a urban legends, as a myth, just happen just like that. But blaming a paint for the disaster created by the humans is not a good idea. So in the end is false. So false as a curse. It's real, the surviving, because it's not something that was made up. It was real. So how fascinating things was before, and how fascinating is the myths. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Myth and Minds. See you later. Bye bye.